Welcome to Intentional Thought, where we unpack everything from our love story and business ventures to personal awakenings and current events like TikTok's fate and AI tutors. We're diving deep and exploring life one intentional thought at a time.
Welcome back to Intentional Thought Podcast. Today we got specialness going on in here. Let's start off with some vibes. You know, we got to start off right with the vibes. Let's start off with some good little vibes, man. Let's go. Yeah. We gonna start it off right, man. Let's go.
Hit me when I'm in your city, cause it's been a minute and I'm tryna get with you. Let's kick it for the weekend and we can rekindle the very thing you swore to your girls you wouldn't get
Okay.
into. I'm tryna get some liquor in my system, cause last time
we got a guest today.
was making bad decisions.
Welcome back to the podcast. Yeah.
Phone on D&D so nobody disturbs our peace.
Yeah.
The last time I was here, you told me you were done with me. You heard that I was flying in, and now you got my phone ringing.
So let's turn this down just a little bit, you know. So welcome back to Intentional Thought. I'm your hostess with the mostest, and today we kicking off things with a very special guest. I'm excited to introduce not just my first guest, but the woman who's been my partner in life, my rock, my inspiration. She's a mom who does it all, a strong black woman who embodies resilience, and someone who can light up the room with just her humor, you know what I'm saying? She's from a small city in Lima, Ohio, and her journey has been nothing short but remarkable. From being a teen mom to becoming the incredible woman she is today, she's faced life's challenges head on and come out stronger every time. Recently, she launched her new event planning business, turning her vision and creativity into something truly special. And over the past few years, she's also awakened to the truths of the world, embracing a deeper consciousness and using it to shape her life and inspire others. So I'm proud to introduce my baby. So welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
That introduction was done.
I know,
yeah,
right?
I like it. We can do that like every day.
I know, right? So basically today, I really just wanted to, chop it up. We can basically talk about, we can talk about our relationship. We can get into some of that. We can talk about your business. And then we're gonna talk about like what's going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? So you want to tell them how we met? Take that.
Not the Diddy Jones. Okay, so.
Yeah, so. Okay, I guess. So basically, we. we gonna vibe on the pod regardless, you know what I'm saying? But basically we met on the internets. What was it? It was a POF. That was when POF was like popping, and I guess I think actually we met on POF right when it was. I don't even think people even use POF anymore. I think they use it all other type of
Yeah, because Facebook became kind of like the dating app hookup spot.
Yeah, then
Snapchat.
Now people be in the DMs. That's really where it's at now, for real. Which I was trying to tell somebody that I know. I was like, man, you gotta stop using them dating sites. They ain't like they used to be, man.
No.
You gotta get in them DMs now. That's what you gotta do. So okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so we met on the internet. You remember where our first date was at?
Yeah. We had brunch at the Golden Nugget.
Which burned down. R.I.P. Golden Nugget.
It's coming back, right?
No, they renamed it. It's like Blueberry Muffin or some shit. We gotta go. It looked nice for real. But yeah, it burned down. And it's like another brunch spot, so I'm sure they got the same shit.
I remember you coming home telling me, like, you know what happened? Like the place we had our first date at burned down.
Crazy.
And I was like, wow, like he really kept that to his heart.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember it.
I remember because, you know, that's like a cool little first date too, man. You know, going to like a little brunch spot, especially one that's kind of like off the beaten path. But what I thought was weird, I was like, man, all she gonna eat is like grits. Like, I thought at first when you ordered like grits, I was like, man, ain't no way she about to just only eat grits.
Yes.
But then come to find out, you love grits.
Yeah, like by their self. I don't have to have a steak or no eggs or bacon, none of that stuff. Just grits. I'm alright. But just grits with butter, no sugar. I don't know how y'all messing with sugar with the grits. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing none of that.
So yeah, but that's my favorite thing. It's grits. But after the brunch, you took me to go get wine.
Damn, I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
I took you.
You asked me some questions like, you know, what do you like to eat, stuff like that, before you took me to the Golden Nugget. And I was saying like I had really started getting into wine and liking wine.
Oh, so after
yeah,
I asked you, what did you like to go eat, and you said, let's go find some wine.
No. If you don't get it together. No. Prior to it, when we were discussing going out, and you asked me these questions of things I like, and I told you, like, you know, it came into the conversation. But after breakfast, we went to the wine shop, and you got me some wine. I tried like something different. You don't remember?
No, I don't remember that. Okay, so after we went for breakfast, and then we went for the wine. What made you basically fall in love?
That day, that wasn't it.
No, not that day. Just in general.
Okay.
What made you basically like, you know?
Well, how can I
your boy.
say this without exposing something?
Exposing something?
Okay, so a situation happened between me and a family member where they were getting my kids back and forth to school with their kids because I work night shift.
Right.
So this person switched up their routine and didn't make me aware of it or my children aware of it. So my kids was left out in the cold one day waiting for a ride to school. And Dakota said, I'll get him to school for you. He came after he got off, because you was working nights then. Mm-hmm. So he came after he would get off. Because you would get off at like what, 12?
Hell no, I would get off at like 1 or 2 for real. So I think that's when I was like a manager or some shit.
Right, so you was getting off at that type of hour, going home, and then going and getting my kids and making sure they got to school. Never complained, never changed up the whole routine. You didn't have to do that. You didn't like know me like that. We had just really started dating. That was like really at the beginning. And that spoke volumes of like your character. And when your character speak like that with children that's not your kids, It's like I feel like I can trust this person to make sure my kids are good. Like, you know, so if they're gonna treat children like that, they treat the elders like that, they treat their parents like that. So you in good hands. So that was like one of the things for me. It's one of the qualities that you don't really get to experience too often without somebody wanting something back from you.
Right.
Because that's a commitment.
Yeah, no.
That's a commitment.
For sure. Definitely. Okay, well, how I fell in love was, I don't know,
and you
man.
took me to get grits, like
That's the grits.
it was the grits for me. That was like roses or something, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and then you did pull up with roses.
I sure did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, you know, a little romantic. So yeah, man. I mean, I basically, cause I just loved like how you would take care of me for real, and you like really looked out for like, you know, my well-being, and you was easy to talk to too. That's basically what it was. Like I could literally just talk to you, and that's literally all we would have to do. We could talk, and you know, and it's like having a best friend you can basically tell anything to. Yeah, that's basically what did it for me, man.
It's a different type of peace. Like, you know, like you don't feel like you have a mask up, because I mean, any couple, when you get together, you are exposed, like everything about you. So what you don't like about that person is going to become even more to the surface, you know, and you got to accept all of it. Like you got to learn to love all of it, because you can't change people. Like people only change for their self to evolve. And you could really get into my mental, where you could stimulate my mind, and just niggas don't stimulate your mind. They quick to stimulate other things. But with a woman, like you work off your mental. So that's a different type of energy when you can connect mentally with somebody. So I like that, and I feel like I could tell you anything, like everything. It's like therapy sometimes, for sure. Yeah, therapy sessions.
And you know what's crazy is I feel like I'm like that way for a lot of people too.
Definitely.
It's like I'm kind of like a therapist that you could talk to, even though I'm not a doctor. So, but
well,
but I grew up with my pops. He was a psychologist. He wasn't a therapist, but he was, you know, a psychologist. He was a professor, and he was a professor of psychology. So he would basically instill a lot of that into me. So a lot of times I'll be already knowing how people be thinking through stuff, like especially when they're going through things. Like I already know kind of like, okay, my pops probably would say this to me, and when I was going through something, so maybe that would also help somebody else. And you know, and just the way we kind of just grew up, we was just always just on some mental type shit for real. That's really what it was.
And that's the thing. Like I think most of us are unaware at a certain point where it's like you don't understand that this is literally a conscious situation here. Everything is off your mental. That's why mental health is like it's so sacred. Like you need to have your mental clear. People will end their self. If you are not at peace within your mind, you're gonna self-destruct. You can have the best body, you could pay for the best body, you can have all the money, you can all these things, but if your mental is toxic, life is hell.
Yeah.
You know, and we can have our days of heaven and hell. Like we really experience them in the mental. So when you have somebody that you can process life with and talk about the things that's going on, that's a different type of love and intimacy to me.
Yeah, so yeah, no, that's real. That's definitely real.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward, we got it into each other's mentals. So let's talk about like our wedding and getting married, because that's a whole being in a relationship and being married are two completely different things, man. Like, I don't care what nobody says, man. I know a lot of people think that marriage is like,
it's just a piece of paper,
something that the government came up with, and just how people be saying and stuff about marriage and how is there's all type of conspiracies on that.
But what is the more ancestral way of why marriage is even existing?
Well, I mean, it was the union of two people. I mean, for real, it's to bring life forth. So when you had to do that, and you had to do that with somebody, so that just made it more of a spiritual and a physical thing where you can connect. You literally are binding together. You really like intertwining y'all souls together, along with your DNA and all your genetics, everything. Combining all of that. So with that, with that is your soul is definitely in there too. So,
and I think that's like why God honors marriage. Like, he blessed people that find that person to create life, because you are here to create on every level, from bringing in life to then guiding that life, helping that soul to go off on its own. Like that's a lot. It's a lot.
Definitely.
It's a lot. Like raising kids and doing all that, it's a lot. So it's like you want to understand that marriage. When I read the marriage certificate, right, it talks about on there, the paperwork she gave me, it talked about was it consummating the marriage?
And it was when you sign it. Yeah.
So you could sign that, but if me and you do not make it to go and lay with each other that night, it's not a binding thing. So that right there tells you that this is more on a soul level. So that's why it's like the vows are so sacred, and it means something. People have done the worst things to each other over breaking their vows. So it's like it really means something. So you can have a boyfriend, girlfriend, you love them, and we're not saying your love is different than a married couple, but it's just you in contract with everything.
For sure.
With everything.
For sure.
And it's a choice. Like, it's not nothing nobody can make you do.
Right, you have to choose that. You definitely have to choose that. Yeah. So what type of advice would you give couples trying to build a strong relationship?
Are we saying like just build a strong relationship, or towards marriage, or
it could be, I mean people, everybody's different, so I guess you want to generalize most things. So to build a strong, a relationship between two people, that love each other.
I would say that you first you gotta be definitely on a journey of loving yourself, and honoring yourself first, and then you can have more to give to that person. But communication, and I think marriage counseling, if you're going towards marriage, is really good, because I think we got some good tips.
Yeah, definitely some good tips and tricks.
Yeah.
It's like the tutorial of marriage.
Yeah.
You definitely got to take that.
Because they, you are then connecting your funds, your taxes, your legal things, everything. So what you do affects the next person. So you can't be a selfish ass person. Like you can't be selfish. You can be selfish sometimes, because sometimes you gotta have something for you. But you have to always be thinking about the other person. And if y'all both kind of like on that, then it's like you never are.
Yeah, you're never
lacking. So your foundation
and you're never
is
alone for real.
Yeah, your foundation is getting more solid and solid and solid. Because if you got cracks and y'all get together doing some toxic mess or grimy mess, it's gonna be hard to build that foundation. I ain't saying it's impossible, but I think it's just gonna be way more challenging bringing all that baggage in.
And I will say that I think too, with us and how we began was a good thing, because usually when you start a relationship, a lot of times you still in a relationship with somebody, you just now leaving a relationship. And I know for me, I completely was single for real. I wasn't messing with no other chick. Like, I literally was single. So when I did find somebody on the same time, and it's like, okay, yeah, you ain't gotta mess with nobody else. We can literally try this on a good foot without having no interference at all.
Oh, and another thing, you cannot have your relationship for everybody else. Because if it was for everybody else, we wouldn't have got married in 2017. Because it was definitely like, as soon as happening fast, it happened fast. Everything happened fast. Like, we was married a year and 1 month since the day we started, like, made it official.
Yeah.
So it happened fast, and I understood everyone's, like, concern.
Oh, for sure.
But
people had their concerns.
And they voiced their concerns. And, it's 8 years together. And we went through it, been good, went through it, been good. It's
yeah, man.
It's a journey.
It's a real
so
journey.
you gotta be able to choose. You gotta be able to choose that person all the time. It's a choice. I mean, I go out. I can go away with my girls. He's not sitting there texting my phone, blowing me up all night. Insecure because I'm outside with a friend. And I'm married, because people feel you can't have single friends when you're married, and you can, because you're responsible for you. So I have to hold myself accountable for my actions. And if my friends want to go do something, they're single women. But I'm gonna go ahead and go on back to the house. So that's a trust that we had out the gate, so we didn't have to worry about that. And it was easier to build on. But if it was us listening to everybody else, we wouldn't be going into 9 years.
On God.
So.
On God. We gonna clap it up for that one. We gonna clap it up for that one. Yes, we are. Okay. On January 1st, you had your soft launch of your new event planning business. Yeah, clap it up for that too. Clap it up for that too. Yeah, we'll clap it up for that. So what made you want to start event planning business?
So when we got engaged and started planning this wedding, my father is deceased. I have my stepfather. And he has his parents and everything, and they helped with some of the stuff, but it's expensive. A wedding is super expensive. So I had to get into my bag, and like I like nice things, so it has to be nice, but it's not gonna be the one that I wanted. So I got to what is it, like DIY, whatever,
DIY?
Yeah.
DIY?
I never was a crafty person. I'm into like fashion and different stuff like that, but I was never into like arts and crafts. So that opened up something for me, and it like activated my creativity. And one thing that I had literally asked God for right before I met him was, what's my purpose? Like, show me my purpose. Because I was living in this small town, in a relationship that was toxic, that I was leaving from. And I'm just like, I'm on a search for something. And I felt like I was waking up every day in zombie land. Like, that person's gonna walk out, like the Truman Show. That person's gonna walk out right now. This is gonna happen. That person's gonna be sitting right there. It was over and over and over again. And I'm like, I have to get out of this, or I'm gonna die. Like, my soul's gonna die. So my cousin, Deja, she had moved here a few years. Well, she had been here for a while, but she had moved here, and she was like, Tina, come down here with me. Come down here with me. I'm down here by myself. And they thought I was bullshitting, but I needed to get away, and I left. And my mom did not want me to leave. Like, my mom, she was tore up about it. But I had to leave, and then I understood that because it connected me to you. And being with you, once we got engaged, that then triggered
the spark that it gave you that spark.
Led me the way to find my creativity, which was design. And you could do that in anything. Like, it's so many levels to it. But I really, really love to have parties and get-togethers and bringing people together. Like, I love that. So this was right up my alley.
Okay,
so I have to, thank you for that. Yeah, you did tell me.
Yeah, no, I think no, because even from the first wedding, because we've had 2 weddings. Don't forget about that. We've had 2 weddings. So even from the first wedding, when you did do the DIY stuff, like, it was still hella nice. Like, everybody said how nice it was, and you would think like a wedding planner really, like, did it, but she did it, and this was like her first time doing it, and it came out like that. Even to like all the little small details, people would like still be talking about it. So after that, I was like, okay, yeah, she like weddings. That's for sure. She definitely like weddings. But then when the second wedding came around, and you basically showed, like, I have a vision for something, and it like really came to fruition, like everything that you really wanted. And even though you still had a wedding planner, but you basically learned the ropes from her, and seeing like, okay, this is how you do, okay, so that's, okay, so you got to do this, okay, but you still put all of the pieces yourself together and made it, this is exactly how you wanted it.
Yeah.
So after I seen that, I was like, okay, I think you can really, really do that. So how do you balance being a mom, a partner, and a business owner? It
flows. You ain't got no choice but to. It really, it don't have a choice but to. But when you have your kids that are all rooting for you and supporting you and encouraging you and helping you, and then you have your husband or your partner doing it with you, you can't fail with it. So it gets hard. We cry and we cry. Yes, we cry.
Oh God.
But we achieve it and we keep going. So it's a little easier that way.
Yeah, because then that soft launch, that went well too.
Yeah, that
went really good. It was beautiful. Got to see, like, this time you actually put in your own sweat and tears into it, and actually seeing what it takes to like really put on an event by yourself. Because I've done events, but usually when I've done events, like back in the day, it was with a group of people, so I know how hard it is to put on any like major event. So
there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, when you do it by yourself, I can only imagine. Okay, so where do you see your business in the next few years, and what's your ultimate goal?
So my ultimate goal is to open up my venue so I can have a place there where my clients can come, and I want it to be a nice clean like layout, so we can do all type of setups. So I definitely want to own my venue, and I want to kind of venture off into, should I say this?
I mean, don't give them too much sauce, but.
Well, I want to come up with a way. I have a plan to come up with a way for, let's be real, David's Bridal sucks. We all agree on it. I'm in so many bridal groups.
Throwing shots at David's Bridal.
They suck. And they cost way too much. So, you know, I have different people that I've met along this journey. So, one thing, when we did our vow renewal, we made sure to have as many black vendors as possible. It was I believe one. It was only one vendor that was, two. The venue and the videographer were not. And also, he knew that I wanted that he actually was like, I could, you know, try to help you find someone that is a black vendor. But he rocks with us, and I rock with Matt. So, and he's a great videographer. So, but other than that, we help it with the black dollar. So that's part of my goal also, is to connect and link with other black businesses, and we can, you know, create our own community, even though we have a community.
Like a real network. Yeah,
really network and bring people in. So it's like, it's hard to find clients, but when you are in a nice community, you're gonna get those recommendations as long as you're doing the right things. You're gonna get that. People will look out for you. And that's one thing I learned. Like, I really was embraced by a really nice group of women, and so it made my process way easier than theirs. I'm pretty sure a lot of them didn't have that support. So I've been studying them, and I understand that it's gonna take a lot of studying, work, tears, sweat, and everything else, but I'm committed to doing it. So I feel like I'm going to make sure that my manifestation really is gonna play out like I want it to, because I'm like connected to it. Like, I love to do this, and I want my clients to feel like I feel after coming into my own events. Like, it lifts your spirits up something. It's like putting on an outfit. You know, and people love, especially black people, we love to come in and see some nice stuff. So, you know, I want to be able to, you know, bind this community a little bit more. And I think definitely through this economic time, we need to come up with more ways that we spend it in our own community and not Walmart or Amazon or going to the Asians for this and that. They can be our allies, but we need to start making that dollar a little bit stronger for sure. So I want to come up with a way for brides, because the men have a tuxedo rental place usually. But women, it's harder for us. We have to do custom. Everything is usually custom, or you're going to end up at David's Bridal paying $3,000 for a sheen looking dress. And then they're going to make you pay all these fees. So I want something where I can kind of help them. If they don't want to keep the dress after, it's a way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like some rental, some black.
Yeah, I ain't really want to say that.
Black bride rental dress. Nah, that's actually kind of fire for real. Yeah, well, that's pretty fire. Okay, actually, speaking on manifestation, over the past few years, I've seen you through this incredible journey of awakening to consciousness and really seeing the world differently. Was there a specific moment or experience that started like your awakening to like what's like really going on out here? Like, what sparked like, damn, I know reality ain't really what it is. I know
well, one thing that kind of got me to looking into it was just being around you. People are going to influence you regardless if they're trying or not, and you wasn't pushing anything. But it was you standing on what you believe and what you want to do with your life, and the things you want to put into your mind, spirit, whatever, you know, because I went to church. I believe you have to go to church. And I came from a very, very deep religious background. So that was something that we was going at it about, was him not going to church. But he was very connected to God. So I couldn't really understand that reality. Like, how are you connected to God, but you don't go to church like that?
Yeah, and then you basically, I think a lot of times is you don't even have to like try to push no real agenda on anybody. But when you start like dropping knowledge on people and they start doing the research, because you know a lot of people that grew up in the church, they told not to ask no questions. This is what it is, so this is what you should be doing. And me, I mean, I grew up that way too, but I think my thing is what kind of set me apart is my pops is a Rastafarian and my mom is a Baptist story, you know, like she's more traditional, black, southern traditional, you know, and that right there set me off to be like, so two people can be together, but even though they not the same religion, that they can still love each other and still have a lot in common. So that kind of like, you know, that right there is what set it off, especially on like my spiritual journey. That's what set it off, because we would sit at home on Sundays. Like when I was younger, we would go to church. And when we got older, we would basically like sit at the house and read the Bible every Sunday and basically break down what we thought the Bible was, and we would do that as a family. So when I would see my parents, you know, they both have like I said, my pops is a Rastafarian, so they just have two different ideologies. So and then I also went to Catholic school, so I'm like, oh, so this, you know, Catholicism is really, you know, America. So when you talk about Catholicism and being Catholic and, you know, everything under the sun of Jesus, that this is what it is. But I didn't grow up that way. I grew up with two different, you know, Rastafarians think Haile Selassie is like the new coming of Jesus, and you got real Jesus. And then when you look into that and you see, oh wait, hold on, Jesus ain't even white, the nigga black too. Like, so all these things, like, hold on, this is not what everybody's trying to tell us. And I'm starting to see these different things. I'm like, hold on, man. So if they telling you this, but this like this, like, okay, so I need to do my own research and find out what's really going on. So and I grew up like that. I was like, I had to be at least like 12. I had to be like 12. And that's basically what set off my conscious journey. I was young as hell, like, you know, not really, you know, not following the rules.
So you was what they say, you was what is the word that I'm looking for? A disruptor in the system.
I mean, yeah.
So when and what I had to understand, that with not questioning God and being a natural born disruptor of the system could not dwell in the same place.
No, they can't.
One of them gonna win, and it depends on how deep your programming is. Because I remember being so deeply programmed that I suffer from anxiety, from being failing and sinning and all these things, you know, just feeling not good enough. So I always questioned though.
That's
and my mom would tell me
questions.
Yeah, my mom would tell me, you know, you don't question God, but then
that's how they get you.
But then it's like, in my heart, and I understood by reading the Bible, because we used to have to read the Bible every year, from front to back, and then we would have to recite the books of the Bible. And so it was programmed, and now that I understand what programming is, you keep putting that into somebody every day. You going to church 3-4 times a week, choir practice, Judah ministries. This is consuming every aspect of you, so your belief system is super strong. When I started to get of age, I didn't like to be still. I didn't like the little town type of thing that wasn't me. I needed something more. So I was always jumping on a Greyhound bus, hitting the highway with my friends. I would leave. And I always have a question. Like, I'm gonna ask you a question, and you're like that. Like, I got a question. So I was always asking people, why you do that? Why y'all do that? Why you believe that? You know? And even though I was trying to hold strong to my belief system, my heart was still not aligned with that. I was questioning. So God said what a man has in his heart is basically what you're judged upon anyways in the Bible. Is off your heart.
What they say is like your heart against the weight of a feather.
Of a feather. Yeah, it has to be light as a feather.
Light as a feather.
And so then on top of that, I'm a Libra. So I'm about balance and justice and all of those things. And I think I'm a true Libra. So I got to wondering, asking questions on the low. But when I married Dakota, it was like my projection was no longer holding up strong anymore, because I was witnessing somebody who was very strong-minded and
knew what the fuck was going on out here.
Yeah, you was very strong-minded, but it was like, for me, it was like, why you think like that? Like, why you don't think like I think? Like, you know that's wrong. You can't think like that. And it's like, why are you feeling so upset about what another person want to do with their soul? Because I can't send you to a bad place, a good place, none of that.
That be the thing. Niggas be soul watching.
Yeah.
Be watching your soul for sure.
Soul gatekeeping, like, for sure. So it kind of triggered that for me. And I started to pray about it. And I was crying. I was going through an ego death. But my ego death really hit. Y'all ready? Because, can I say this?
Yeah.
With COVID.
So COVID, that basically was like your jumping point for basically awakening to like reality and what's really going on. Like, really, well, I guess COVID was like you starting to wake up from
COVID
the Matrix.
Was a activation, and that literally, it was an activation for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we just all activated to different things wherever your level of consciousness was, or what it was you wanted to get to, was what was going to start unfolding with COVID. Because I had an experience early on in my ego death with having a group conversation with some friends. And we were talking about, I believe, the vaccines. And one of the friends, we were all talking, but one of them was not aware of the conversation somehow.
Aware of the conversation?
She was there, right?
Okay.
But she had no clue, like, really what we were talking about. And then the other friend of mine was like, she literally said this, and she said, "Friend, I'm gonna need for you to go back to sleep." But I had not had a conversation with anyone other than you about what I was going through. I was super scared to even start looking into what this was because I couldn't hide from it. It was like 3D everywhere. Numbers. I mean, learning things about from the weather to just
history.
True history. Who these people really were that was in the Bible and where they really came from and how that's tied into us. And that's a whole nother story, but it goes deep.
Yeah, it's deep. Everything is deep.
And we're still going down the rabbit hole. And it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. That's the experience I went through. Was like I was spiraling. And I was like, I want this to stop. And I asked for it to stop. I cried for it to stop. But when you're chosen to awaken, you're gonna awaken.
Oh, it's gonna happen regardless.
It's gonna happen regardless. It could be more painful if you fight against it. Because when I was fighting against it, it was painful. But when I started to flow with it and then learn and ask the questions and do the research, that's when I got through that fear. And for me, that's big because I was super religious. So that broke and shattered my reality. And I went through like an anger period of time. I went through isolation. And then I went through a calmness. And then we got hit super hard with COVID. And I was surrounded by death. And I would like get off work and I'd be crying sometimes. And you like, it's too much.
I die every day.
Every day. And the things we saw, I wouldn't wish that on anybody to witness. And I understood family couldn't see their families. I don't think some would want to see that. So when you're surrounded around death and you're trying to figure out what this is, and you're going through an ego death, and I started to learn that what's happening in your spiritual realm is happening in your physical realm. They're like mirroring each other. So if it's war going on in the physical, it's war going on in the spiritual. So I was going through two wars, I felt like. Fighting a virus that I can't see. And I'm scared I'm going to kill everybody around me because that's what was being said. Like, you will give this to your kids and your family. But because I was going through that spiritual awakening, I was more sensitive to hearing God. And Spirit was telling me, don't move. Stand on it. Don't do anything I don't tell you to do. And I stood, and it was a war.
Especially with taking that jab.
It was a
for
war.
Sure, because that was the war.
That was the war.
That was it. A lot of people failed.
And for me, because I have a religious background, I believed in a beast system coming to pass. So for me, if something affected us on this global of a level, God speaks in the Bible of something happening globally. And we will all have to face this at the same time. It's not going to just be Israel against whoever. It's going to be everybody. And you're going to have to make a choice. Now, you can make this choice to have all the privileges, or you're going to have to lose some privileges to be true to yourself. So it was a choice to choose yourself or go along with the programming.
Yeah, you gotta buck the system sometimes.
Some of us broke through that programming. And after I stood on that, I grew a faith system that I never had. Within myself, like I could really trust myself. Because now we see what's playing out now, years later, with COVID. So I had mine just in time, and I think that you are like, you know how you say you're like, I'm not a doctor or a therapist or whatever, right? But some are actually born to heal. So like you've healed me in ways. I know you healed other people. So yeah, some people are like healing doctors.
Yeah.
But you don't need like to prescribe nothing. You got knowledge and something to help them spiritually heal.
No, I definitely feel that is also another, like, one of my callings is to basically, man, teach people stuff, tell people stuff that they don't really understand or know about. Just bring a lot of light to people, man. That's really all I want, man.
A light worker.
Is just bring light to people, man, and enjoy life. That's all I really want, because I feel that I've definitely have come back here, and I was sent here to help people. Like, that's really the real reason I'm here, is to awaken a lot of people. And I mean, throughout my life, I have definitely put a lot of people on, man, that didn't know about a lot of shit. So I know that has kind of been like my thing, is that I can, when I tell somebody something, they listen to it and they take it in and they really start to like understand it for real. And then that kind of leads them to asking more questions and just wanting to explore the knowledge, man. And that's really all we have, man. Is,
and you
like,
don't have to force it or
man.
Preach it or yell it or scream it.
I don't. I say it and you don't listen.
They're gonna be drawn to you.
Yeah.
You know. And
a lot of times I care what people like are understanding or getting the knowledge, but a lot of times, man, I'll just say it, and if you get it, you get it. That's really what it is. And a lot of people, you can't change everybody, that's for damn sure, and you can't really bring the light to everybody. You can try.
You can't save everybody.
Yeah, you can try, but I mean, I also believe that a lot of us ain't really got the souls in us too, man, or you a young soul, so you don't even really understand, so it ain't even no point of trying. Yeah, for real.
And you will know, and it won't be no, negative way of handling that situation. It'll just be, hey, that person don't want the knowledge.
Hey,
it is what it is.
Keep it moving,
and
man.
They kind of fall away anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you can't have a conversation. Y'all have nothing to talk about. Y'all have nothing to relate to. So, yeah. You kind of just go your own way.
You kind of got to do that with a lot of people too, especially like people that like have like in your family and your relationships. Like when you do really wake up to like what's going on, a lot of people just fall off anyway, because you on a whole different wavelength and they not on your wavelength yet. And if they not on your wavelength, they either gonna do one or two things. They either gonna level up with you, or they gonna fall to the wayside. And sometimes you gotta let them fall to the wayside. So, like, what advice would you give to others, especially like black women who are starting to question everything?
Understand that through the fear of that, because it's super instilled in us, through the fear of that, on the other side, once you go through it, it's nothing else to be scared of. And I think we all just want peace in our heart and in our spirits and our soul, and we're all looking for the same thing, really. Everybody, even bad people, they can tell you, I don't believe in God or whatever. That we are all looking for that love, that acceptance of who we believe the Creator is. And so with women, I feel we are super close to the Creator. Even in the Bible stories, it tells you that, Jesus, Yah, whatever you want to call him, he had women with him They followed him. And he loved women, and he cherished women. And in this society, they try to put us below.
And Jesus had ambitions. He definitely had them. He had them on deck.
He accepted everybody. But he did not feel separate from the women that was with him.
Right.
And they took care of him and they loved him. And they were the ones last standing to take the body down, if you believe in that version of the story. But it all connects, all of it. All the different stories, no matter what they all connect.
Definitely.
But some things we just take a little too literal. So you have to understand that you want that love, and we are so connected because we are portals. Like we're the portal between the heavens and earth. Nothing comes through this portal without coming through us. You can't get here, right? So understand the power that you hold, and I feel now more than ever the feminine energy is so strong, and that's why you see kind of a feminine takeover in industries and rap and movie and wrestling and basketball, just all over the place.
Shit.
You know, WNBA basketball is taking off. It's the year of the woman.
Politics, everything.
Regardless if you voted for Kamala or not, we have witnessed history.
Yeah.
Black history, if she like it or not. But you know, just understand that you play a significant role in shaping and guiding this these next few generations. And you have to find your oneness with God, whatever God you might think that is, but you have to find that, because everything else will fall into place. And not to be so hard on yourself. You know, I just told a friend of mine last night, we was having a conversation, and you know, we were talking about how women speak to men and how men speak to women. And a lot of things is verbal abuse. You don't have to put your hands on me, but you can break me mentally and spiritually with your words.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, you know, I was a tough chick. Like, I'm a tough chick. So I would give these niggas like what they was asking for out here. If you wanted a bat, I'd give you a bat. You know, if you wanted some...
Like a baseball bat?
Oh, yeah. I kept one. We kept them. I would give you that. You know, but I always longed to be a wife. You know, I wanted that person for me. I wanted that person I come home to every day and that I travel with and that I feel safe with, but I never thought I would find that because I never experienced it. So getting in a relationship with you, I started to feel safe, and that gave me the room to spiritually grow. Like, when you feel safe and you feel softer, you want to dress up more, you know, you want to look really, really cute. It make you tap into that feminine energy.
All right, so let's switch some gears. We gonna talk about what you think about TikTok being banned or getting banned? How you feel about that? Do you even care about TikTok?
I went to Red Book, whatever. I'm one of them you was talking about.
I told you not to do that. I told you not to do that. I don't know why people did that.
And did.
The craziest thing to me about people going to the Red Note was, one, you couldn't even read anything on there. So you don't know what the fuck these Chinese people was even talking about.
We never cared.
And so the thing is with that Red Note, man, there's so much crazy shit behind that. That's what's so crazy. And really black people are the ones that flock to it, because they didn't even know that, I guess, the Red Note in Chinese is some shit like Jing Zhang Zhu, and that shit means like the little red book.
And then they tell you the history of what the book represented.
Yeah, which is really I mean, it's from Mao Zedong, so but they also don't tell you how much that is like connected to communist China and how big of a deal people have lost their lives for trying to join communist China.
We ran to it,
and niggas ran, and that's the craziest thing is that niggas ran to it.
But let me tell you what I get, okay? First of all, you look at it that way, but we was talking about disruption in the system.
Yep.
That was a disruption in the system.
Which is
regardless of how cuckoo we went that day, because we crashed out. But no, I didn't even like TikTok, okay? But one thing that I do not like is the fact that they're lying.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about the social security cards that were hacked. And the hacks that keep happening on almost weekly.
They got everybody's social security.
They got all our information already. So
I think today, Capital One went down.
But this is the thing. We feel we are waking up to how bad this is, where they want to make it, we're divided. We're more divided as a country than ever. It's unprecedented how divided we are. They're pushing that into the program. Because when we want to come together on something, we do. We will. No matter if you're pink, brown, yellow, orange, you're going to come together. Americans needed to hear and see, even if it has to be on the...
But the thing is with that is, I think these these different governments know that though. So you got to think about all these psyops that especially like China is doing or Russia is doing. So yeah, they'll put out all type of propaganda and saying look at all these funny memes that is on Xinjiang. Look at all, you got to come to Xinjiang and learn Chinese and because people said that Duolingo went up the day, so people were starting to learn Chinese
to use the app. But listen, it's so much you can take from it, from the negatives to the positives of it. But for me, I was telling him I feel something is coming, like a pregnant. But this been for years now. It's like when women know what I mean. When you're pregnant, you start to nest when it's time, and you know your baby coming. The body just knows. I feel we're so connected to the earth as women that we can feel Mother Earth changing and cleansing. And I feel her. And I feel that something that's coming big that is definitely unprecedented for our life.
Oh, for sure.
But I've always said that it's not going to be what we think it's going to be. All the things they're pushing through media, through everything, it's not going to be that way. It's going to be us against the beast.
Whatever that is.
We know who the beast is. They control everything. We are at a point in our evolution where we have to pick which way we're gonna go.
Oh, for sure. This is the most pivotal time.
They have us going one way.
They're trying
with that but people are starting to revolt.
Yeah, people starting to wake up.
And now we're like, eggs are $8. Like, people can't get gas in their car, but you don't want to give us a raise, but you want us to put in more hours. They want us back to work. More people are self-employed through TikTok and making such a great living. And black people, we are never usually on even playing grounds, and we have found ways to have follow trains and bring each other find each other to help each other evolve on this app. Because let's be real, the less seasoned people get all the views. And we don't want to, oh, she got more followers than me, so I'm not going to follow her, but I'll let her follow me type of mentality. When no. On TikTok, we started to break that. And people start making a good living off of TikTok.
But I think that's what it was at first, too. Though.
Yeah, it's like you're silencing us. You're not even giving us a choice in these changes. But we have to live in this reality that you're creating and making it a hell. We can't afford to live. We have no health care. We're getting hit with pandemics and climate change. You're canceling insurance. The value of our dollar is going down. We're on a brink of collapse. I don't know what they're doing with that money. I ain't gonna say too much because I don't need nobody popping up following us. But it's a lot of money going out and we have not gotten our just due. And now I think people are understanding collectively, it's not a black versus a pale thing, a yellow thing. This is the people versus the beast thing. And right now it's like we're in flight or fight.
The top.
Yeah, we're in flight or fight. We see that really we are at a crossroad where if we do not revolt, something is going to destroy us, and they're building bunkers. So. Oh yeah,
they're getting prepared. They know what's coming.
They're getting prepared for something. So you need to start asking questions. They getting prepared
and know what's coming while niggas is on TikTok.
My fear.
That's really what it be.
My fear
niggas
is that
TikTok.
My fear is that some of us was waking up ahead of the process and leading into it, right?
I think TikTok was a part of that too, for
it
real.
Was.
Especially at the beginning, but then what it turned to now is that it's not what it was at the beginning. Before, at the beginning of
it was a joke.
TikTok, it was a joke, but people was also learning on there too. It was like a lot of like information, and then it started to turn to like more of the funny dancing memes, and really now you can't find really no real educational stuff on TikTok anymore.
You know,
other than like conspiracy theories and shit.
So you know, if you just think about something or have a conversation, it pops up.
Oh, for sure.
So what I started to notice.
Be listening.
What I started to notice when I was going through my awakening, my algorithm changed to nothing but like ancient Egypt stuff and things about the black sun and UFOs. I don't look at that type of stuff. I didn't. But it started to like 3D. Just it was everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's a good point about like your algorithm and change, because that's really why they want to ban TikTok.
That's why they want to ban TikTok.
They want their algorithm. If y'all didn't know, that's why they want.
The algorithm controls what you feel,
especially TikTok's algorithm. Yeah, because TikTok's algorithm literally gives you what you want for real. So they want that type of out, and anybody that gets their hands on that, man, is up for everybody, because they already controlling us through the algorithm if you're not really focusing it right.
And the people are, what, like I said about that fear, right? People are at a point where they like, yeah, y'all have had us scared a long time. It's time to break through that fear and see what's really going on, because what y'all are telling us isn't helping us. You all are eating. And like in the words of the great Tupac, we gonna knock and ask so many times, and then people gonna start coming through the door like, what's up? I need mine. My kid's hungry. And that's where America is getting. Our kids is hungry. They're hungry for everything. They need safety. They need gun laws to protect them. Why are we the only ones that kids are getting shot up in school? And then you tell me if I don't send my kids to your school, your institution, you will throw me in the institution. I have no choice in how to help my child guide through life, because the school system really isn't made for melanated people, not America's.
For sure. And I mean, now too, there's like a new, like now they trying to put like the AI tutors into the schools, and basically have like AI teach your kids, which I think it's a good and a bad thing. I think the only thing is
putting this into AI.
That's what I'm saying. If there's a way that there's like a separate algorithm that you can put your own like prompts into. Like I want my kid to learn today I want him to learn with the regular basic that y'all just mandatory to teach. Also put in Black history of today, and just put in different things that is also going to teach your kids like what you want them to teach. Because you can definitely, because that's literally what they doing.
They're shaping and molding AI. So AI will eventually, we already deal with Kens and Karens. I mean, it's gonna be discriminating against us if we're not.
Sure.
We don't have our
hands in it
into that technology. We're gonna be left behind, and that's the true meaning of being left behind. So when they speak of in the Bible about being left behind, it's all about technology. And if you're not tapped into that consciousness, you can't tap into AI. You're gonna feel lost. Your creative juices isn't flowing already. You're stuck in a dark house. The air is bad. Your food is bad. Everything's against us. So we have to get into that technology so that our kids have a chance in this world.
Us.
Because the new world is here. Trump takes office in how many days?
I think on Monday, I think.
Listen, Trump, listen to his name. It's Trump. If you know anything about the trumpets and the signs of the times, and you understand right now the agenda we're focusing on is climate. And everything is going to be about climate. You're going to hear climate, and you're going to see a lot. We're going to see weather that we never saw before. Because we are no longer in that 3D world. So if you're still attached to that world, it's going to be very hard for you to switch. Because the government got some things in store for us.
Oh, they do. They did. A new UFO whistleblower just came out to I think he drops an interview tomorrow where he basically is talking about like, we picked up, we actually did the recovery of these UFOs, and I was a pilot, and I got evidence, I got videos. So they real and they're here, and it's either gonna go one way or the other.
The thing is this, right? For me, how I look at it now, because I used to have a fear of it. It's still a nervousness about it because it's something fresh and new that you don't know what this is going to be like. But we all are in fear of the beast system. We're in it. But it has everyone in fear in some form and fashion. These beings and shits and all these things are everywhere, plastered throughout our history. All you got to do is look.
Been there.
They're there. They were at the birth of Christ. They have like the drawings and everything. They have it at the birth of Christ.
I talked about it on the last podcast.
Yeah, so they've always been here. We just haven't had the eyes to see.
Or the words. Or
the language to even express what this is, because the technology is so advanced that we don't know what this is. It's like as if a good way that it was explained to me was back, what year we would say, before planes existed.
Before planes? What was that, like the 1800s or some shit like that?
Okay, so back in 1800s, if you saw a Spirit plane go over your head, and you see horses and cattle that we're using, donkeys and all this stuff, and you see a plane, you're gonna be in fear. What is that? When it's nothing but technology that's more advanced than what you are using. And all you have to do is look into it, because they're releasing the documents all the time, is that the government they've known about them for a long time. They have crafts. They have this technology that they're trying to figure out how to use. So we have to be real with ourselves and stop being in Delulu land and buying the story they've been telling, and understand that we have never been alone. What makes us special enough that we're just bleep here alone? But yet we believe in God. Wouldn't God be from somewhere else? We would think, right? But no, God is here too.
Yeah.
God is in each and every last one of us. He, the breath of life, right? So that's all across the universe.
Yeah, the God consciousness.
It's all across
Christ
the universe. And
consciousness.
if you telling me that you have something that my government can't even do nothing with,
They can't even.
and our technology is sick as we know it right now, right?
But the thing
But-
is that it's not even about them like being able to do nothing with them. It like they don't even want to. Because if they wanted to do anything to us, they would have been
Exactly, and that's
it
what
would've
that's where I
been
was
over.
going with it. Is that if we are scared of anything, we're scared of the ones that's right here with us.
Oh yeah, they the ones.
Them the ones that's been yanking us by our edges. Okay, so I'm not afraid of something that has not bothered me. They have complete control over the planet.
Oh yeah, over everything.
If they wanted to do something, they would have did something. But what they have been doing is guiding us and giving us technology. But it's up to us to tap into that technology, especially
Use it the right way.
especially you not nine-ether beings, black people. You're a part of the technology. They use your melanin to even create a lot of things that we use, from NASA to everywhere. They have melanated conferences. Like what? How many years? Like every 2 years or every year? It's
I don't know, they ain't,
very often.
but they definitely be having
And-
melanin conferences.
And
for
no black
sure.
people, from what I heard, is invited to those conferences. So they studying you.
Oh, they want your melanin for sure.
And your melanin is more than gold itself.
That's why
You are the
they
most
be coming
expensive
up
thing on the
missing.
planet. That's why we, yeah. Well,
Coming up missing for
yeah.
sure. That's why I be telling people, man, don't you be putting
That
that.
is real.
Do not put that donor on your driver's license, man.
You remember you told me that I had it on mine.
Man, don't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a clear sign. Like, oh, okay, we gonna
Yeah.
see. Oh, we can use his shit, and I think they even said like the human body itself, like each part.
How much it costs.
A person is like up to $1 million. If you like part a nigga out, he like up to $1 million. So, and I think even black body parts go for more because we have melanin. We just have, that's a whole different thing right there.
I mean, our DNA is just different and special. I mean, we're matter. We're walking matter. And we're more protected by nature, the sun. It resonates with us. It aligns with us. That's why our vibration is different. We dance. We naturally match the vibration of music because we are of that. That's what we're made of. And the more you have of it, the closer you are to the creator. That's how I feel. So we got to get off into learning about what's going on out here and being aware. I'm not saying consume yourself, because at one point I was like consuming myself,
Yeah.
where it's unhealthy.
Yeah, where you just
You got to get a balance.
deep dive all day, every day. You definitely have to have a balance.
I was stressed out. I was stressing him out.
Of what to ingest and how much to ingest when you like on your awakening and your consciousness
It's a lot of
journey, man.
information
It's a
coming
lot
in.
of information to hold and retain and just to materialize. So yeah.
And you got to learn to tap into your intuition and use that discernment when you're going through that ego death, for sure. Because if you don't balance it out, it'll drive you insane. It will really do damage. So, learn to siphon, and also don't believe everything from everyone. Dakota was like, don't be taking.
You can't believe everything.
Just because that brother
Niggas
talking about
will.
meditation and stuff don't mean he really, because they was out here,
all type of shit.
they was
man.
selling other people.
like all
too.
type of, especially like when it comes to like just so much shit. You just gotta pick and choose a lot of stuff for real. That's really what it is. All right, that's it for this episode of Intentional Thought. I want to thank my beautiful wife for coming out here and being such an amazing first guest. I couldn't imagine starting this journey with anyone but you. So I want to thank y'all all for listening and tapping in with us. Make sure y'all go out and check Tina's luxury events. I put like her information down there on, you know, Instagram, all the socials and stuff. Also, seeing how this is a new pod and we starting off, if y'all got any comments on how we can improve, what y'all want to hear us talk about or me talk about, or anything that you want to like critique us, you know, just leave a comment. Let us know how you feel. Don't forget to subscribe, leave some comments, leave some likes, share, you know, definitely subscribe to the YouTube for sure. Let's get them numbers up. And thank y'all for tuning in, and remember to always stay intentional for sure. We're gonna start it out. We're gonna finish with, we gonna do, let's see, we gonna end it off with a vibe for sure though. We gotta end it off with some vibes. We gonna end it off with the homie, man. Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in. Intentional Thought. I'm your host.
You turn my voice up in my headphones a little bit more.
Awful Truth.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes, sir. Not too long ago, I was chasing on the road, somehow trying to turn
this my homie D Knight.
Man, I like what I'm saying, at least I keep it.
Oh yeah, also too, if y'all want to send some music in too, man, I'll sort through them, and I really want to do like, here, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. I think I want to do like start a playlist too of like all the music that I'm gonna play on the pod. I think I really want to make it more like independent artists. So if y'all got something, man, send it to me. I might play it, I might not.
But he listens and he does judge.
Oh yeah, no, I am a hip hop aficionado for sure.
Definitely.
So yeah. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.